profile and going through some of the combos. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, but if you want to see like a proper opening, then go check out the other video where we actually opened it for the first time. Alright, so in the structure deck, you get a copy of Tri-Brigade Mercurier. This is a monster negate and also has a search effect when it's banished, a very good card. Spring Dance Kit, searches Branded Fusion, instant 3-off. The Gold Sword Soul, you don't really have space to play this. I mean, it's a cool effect, but it kind of requires already being set up, and if you're already set up, then you don't really need this. So there isn't really much room in the deck to play this. Mirror Jade, obviously one of the best boss monsters with Valiant, a way of bringing out the boss monster. Branded Fusion, the entire deck revolves around resolving this card, essentially. This card is amazing. Splashable Engine, you're going to be seeing this a lot in the competitive metagame. Very good card. Yeah, we definitely play 3 of that in the structure deck. Branded Sword, kind of cool, but doesn't really achieve a whole lot. It requires having multiple branded spells and traps in your graveyard, which you don't really have. You know, it's not the best card. We have Branded Retribution to counter traps. This thing's actually a little awkward. It would be good in the late game when you have multiple fusions in the graveyard, but in the early game, you don't really want to get rid of your Mirror Jade, so it's only good if you have at least 2 fusions set up on turn 1. It also recurs Branded Fusion, so that's quite nice. Fallen of Albaz, obviously the main fusion boy of the deck. You can play 2 or 3 of this, honestly. But yes, it is a mandatory card. Albion is pretty good, counters Fallen of Albaz in the graveyard or on the field. You don't really special summon it that much, but even in hand, it at worst is just an upstart, and you can trigger one of your branded spells or traps. We have Fleur de Lis, doesn't really achieve anything without any other Dogmatica cards to get in the gate. Red MD, you basically have a full Dragon Link core in here, but no way to actually utilize it without Link monsters, you know, like Striker Dragon, Heavenly Spheres and whatnot. So while it is cool to include those cards, they don't really help you achieve what you're actually trying to achieve. It just gives you a direction that you can sort of build the deck in the future.
Sometimes, life can be like this. But with certified pre-owned quality and safety you expect, it can be more like this. Certified for growing families. Certified by Volvo.
I think it's really fun.
This is a legit MMO right here. I really think it's a cool game. It plays pretty well and looks pretty good.
You obviously good going second card. Levianeer, most of your fusions banish or shuffle back into the deck, so you're not actually going to have a lot of lights and darks in the grave for Levianeer in the early game at least. So yeah, an unsearchable one-off in the late game, I mean, there's not really any space for it. Radiant, very good. Scythe, you can actually scythe off your opponent quite easily thanks to Branded Fusion, because you always just dump Scythe to the graveyard.